chapter 16 of Frankenstein. I'm going to be going through chapters 16, 17, 18, and 19 of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley and giving a brief synopsis of what happens. So in chapter 16, from the previous chapter, the monster has just gone into the Delacey's dwelling and asks if he can be their friends. They say no. The old man says yes. He gets ran off. So then this monster starts moving away. And so he runs and hides and starts to watch the family again. But the family's like, nope, we're out of here. We're moving. And the family actually ends up moving away. So here the monster gets away. I wrote, the monster turns toward anger, and he destroys the home. So after the family leaves, and they call in their tenant, the dude they're leasing the farm from, like, dude, we gotta get out of here. And so the dude's like, all right, are you sure? You sure? And he really didn't want them to leave, but the monster ends up leaving. So, the family ends up leaving. Then the monster gets really mad at them for leaving him, and especially to this drastic of a matter. So he destroys the home. He lights it on fire, and then he goes and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go find my creator. That's what he says. He goes to find Victor. So he remembers something about Geneva, so he goes there. So also on his trip, I wrote this. This is the only note I wrote of this encounter, but I'll tell you about it. So it said, I wrote, monster saves a girl and is repaid with a bullet. So on his way, he's traveling through the woods. He only travels by night. During the day, he hides out. But in the night, he wakes up, gets firewood, and he collects food, and then in the day, he'll sleep. So he reverses his schedule so that way to avoid interactions with humans. And one day, he's like moving through the woods a little bit, probably during dusk or evening, so when he can be. And this girl is swimming in a river, and she like jumps in. So like climbed out on a tree, then jumps in the river or jumps in the water, and then she starts to not swim. So the monster jumps in and saves the girl, picks her up, puts her back on the land so that way she can breathe. And then the people that were kind of supervising her but really couldn't see her show up, and they see that the monster over her trying to help her out, and they start shooting at him. And so he takes off and he's upset, and so he's kind of upset because he's like, hey, I did a nice thing for these people and they repay me with pain. So once again, the monster feels very singled out and isolated and alone. So then the monster says he's going through the forest again, and he runs into this child. He's hopeful, and he thinks, okay, here's a child. They won't have been tainted by the fact that, hey, I'm ugly. They won't see me as the adults do. So he goes to this child and is hopeful that, hey, I could take this child and teach him to be nice to me, and maybe he'll accept me. And the child turns out to be William, related to Frankenstein, so this makes the monsters mad, and he's like, dude, I have to get back at my creator. And so the kid starts to fight and yell and scream, even though Frankenstein's like, or the monster's like, oh, I thought this kid would be nice. So the monster straight up there grabs him and strangles him, and he talks about collecting the pendant, and that convicted the other girl, and he takes that and he runs, and he tells Frankenstein all this on how he took the thing. He found the girl in a barn. He's like, I slipped it in her thing so that way she would get caught and take the blame, so he wouldn't get pegged for it. And I remember one quote that the monster said in this was that, Frankenstein did this, or Frankenstein made me so good that I won't get caught from what I've done, kind of thing. And then the monster finds Frankenstein, and now since he's wrapped up his story and they've caught up to where they are, he's like, hey, I've been rejected by the world. The people and humans don't like me. I want a companion because I liked the companionship I saw at the farm. Will you make